Nothing is ever like how you plan it to be, but I mean, I just feel like this experience has been taken away from me.
Today, the spell breaks as Hannah's prince turns into a frog. But don't worry, this fairy tale is far from over.
I just thought maybe we could go for a drink and just hang out.
And we've got an exclusive Cast on Blast with the one and only Hannah B.
Any interaction I ever had with him, it was always so interesting.
This is your reality check.
We're gonna have a go at this.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the show. It's no Wedding Wednesday here at Reality Check, I'm afraid. I am Lyndsey Rodrigues. Welcome. Joining me today to talk about the Bachelorette season finale are pop culture experts Neha Joy and Brett Vergara. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you so
for
much.
having us.
Of course. I'm so glad that the two of you are here. I know that we're very keen to get into last night's crazy Bachelorette conclusion, but first we have to kick off our show with our top 5. At number 5, Ladies of London star Juliet Angus is calling out Kristen Bell and husband Dax Shepard's company Hello Bello for their marketing tactics. The plant-based baby brand reached out to her via email, offering a collab opportunity in which she could choose 4 different vitamins worth only $44 to be gifted in exchange for posting about the products on social media. Juliet took to Instagram to voice her frustrations in a series of posts, writing, "I am so over this one-sided collaboration request to create content for multi-million-dollar companies for free." To further her point, she included screenshots of the emails and crazy contracts Hello Bello sent her. And then Juliet took a stand, much like actress Jamila Jamil, who famously went after celebs like Khloe Kardashian for promoting diet drinks on social media. Brett, what do you think of this? Do you think it's right for multi-million-dollar companies to expect so much in return for nothing? Do you think that there should be stricter regulations when it comes to influencers on Instagram?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're definitely at the point where it's like, come on, like we know better. And also this like hurts so much because I love Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard so much. And also I feel like this is not like their first rodeo, like they should kind of know better.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, clearly there needs to be stricter regulations with this stuff, or else you can just kind of get away with this old habit where, right.
Definitely. Well, from one set of regulations to another, at number 4, Cardi B was forced to abruptly cancel her Indiana concert on Tuesday night after receiving a security threat at the venue. In a tweet shortly before the rapper was set to take the stage, it was revealed that the concert would be postponed. Now, while her fans vented their frustrations on social media, the Indianapolis Metro PD confirmed that there had been an unverified threat, but reassured everyone that there was no immediate threat to public safety. Cardi eventually spoke out about the incident and sent her apologies to her fans in a post showing her doing soundcheck at the venue just minutes before the announcement was made. However, fans will still get to see the rapper perform as the event has been rescheduled for September. Now, Neha, you do a lot of work for Billboard, so you're very much a music expert. Do you think that the security at concerts has been increased tenfold since what happened at Ariana Grande's concert in Manchester? There was a country music concert in Las Vegas where a gunman killed a bunch of people. So do you think that we're seeing positive changes in terms of security?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you see about what they said about what happened at Cardi B's concert, they said there was no immediate threat to the public, but they're still taking those heightened measures to kind of, make sure that security is at an all-time high. And they canceled it, but they still rescheduled it. So I think for her and for her team and for her security team to kind of take that extra measure is showing that we are taking positive steps, because we did see the consequences of what happened when maybe security was a little bit lax in the past.
Yeah, and maybe didn't take threats too seriously. So, yeah. At number 3, Mike Fleiss has finally reached a settlement in his divorce from Laura Fleiss. After long negotiations, the settlement awards Laura $10 million and leaves the parents with 50-50 custody of their 4-year-old son, Benjamin. Laura, who is 11 weeks pregnant, also dropped her domestic violence case as part of the settlement. The Bachelor creator said in his declaration, "I have not hurt, attacked, or attempted to physically harm Laura or our child." He went on to state that Laura was the aggressor during the incident and lied about being on birth control in order to fall pregnant with their second child. The two met in 2012 and were married in April of 2014 in a ceremony officiated by Bachelor host Chris Harrison. All right, so Brett, what do you think? Should Mike be the next Bachelor and find love on his very own show?
Oh my God. Well, definitely not Mike for Bachelor, clearly.
I think that would be the only thing worse than Ari being the Bachelor.
This
guy being the Bachelor.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, I mean, this is such a sad story. And I mean, I am really glad that they're able to I mean, there's kids involved. So anytime there's a kid involved, anytime there's domestic violence, it's just a really sensitive and serious matter. So I'm glad it's getting resolved, but it's still really hard to see.
Absolutely. Especially when his job is to help people find love.
Right,
so
right.
Sad that he hasn't found it himself yet. At number 2, Ellie Kemper served as a guest judge on last night's AGT, during which she bestowed the golden buzzer to the Ukrainian dance troupe Light Balance Kids. She said, "I thought this was the definition of a spectacle. It was truly spectacular and marvelous." Ellie, who was pregnant with her second child, told the group, which ranges in ages from 11 to 13, that it was a no-brainer. And Simon Cowell also had praise to share, telling the contestants, "The level of rehearsal that goes into that is quite incredible. I think you guys can be stars." Now, Neha, with all of these people getting the golden buzzer on AGT, are you really excited for the finals? Do you think that it's right for the guest judges to be using the golden buzzer so much? We saw Dwayne Wade do it the other day as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it really just gets you excited because there are certain acts and certain performers that you're really rooting for. Because listen, like at the end of the day, it's a long show before we get to the live shows.
Sure.
You're running through a lot of groups and performers. You might forget about people here or there that you were like once rooting for and really like, oh my God, I really love that person. So the standouts and the golden buzzers kind of keep you on your toes and being like, I'm really excited for that person to show
Yeah,
up.
and it's always like such an emotional moment as well when they in the scene that people look like the looks on their faces that all their hard work has paid off. And
Honestly, no matter how many golden buzzers they do, I'll get excited and emotional every single time.
Oh, seriously?
So just like keep on hitting it. Like,
I
why
have
not?
never watched an episode of that show and not cried.
I'm not keeping track of how many they did. I'm like, I'm a mess. every
We
time.
love them all.
Yeah.
Let's bring them all to the live shows.
Well, at number 1, someone that we really love, Hannah's time on The Bachelorette is officially over, unfortunately, but she does have some thoughts on who should follow in her footsteps as Bachelor. During an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live, the host asked her who she would choose to lead the next installment, and he noted that it can't be Tyler C since they're headed out for drinks. Hannah responded, "I thought Peter was really great. Mike's great as well. I want them to have happiness, so maybe it'll work out better for them than it did for me." Now, it seems that she's not the only one that thinks that, as Chris Harrison told People earlier this month that he thinks that Mike is definitely a contender. He better be. But we do know that the Bachelor team is very good at throwing curveballs at us. So is there anyone outside of Peter and Mike that you could foresee potentially becoming the Bachelor?
Maybe they'll bring Peter Krause back. I mean, what's he doing?
Oh my God,
Right?
I would go on the show.
Everyone, right. I mean, like everyone has since forgotten about him. He's doing
Right.
his fitness thing, I think. I don't really know. But that would be the only curveball I would accept because otherwise, Mike for Bachelor. I mean,
Yeah.
it's no contest.
It is
for me.
time for a Black Bachelor.
It's absolutely time. Oh my God.
And in
absolutely.
seasons past, they have kind of had trouble kind of figuring out which one was the top contender.
Right.
But I feel like in this one, it's like a no-brainer.
Yeah,
Mike
right.
or
Yeah.
like maybe Peter, but Mike.
I wouldn't be like that. I mean, Peter's fine and nice, but we've also like done the pilot thing before.
I
That
feel like
didn't
we've
go
seen
well
Peter
last
a lot
time.
of times,
Yeah,
you know?
right,
I was talking to
right.
Rachel Lyndsey about this the other day, and she was like, we've seen like 50 iterations of Peter. Like, it's time for Mike.
Right,
So.
absolutely.
But
Mike-
then that means that Mike isn't available for me to go out with.
I mean,
so
fair
I'm
enough.
torn.
Well, also, Demi
can get
Lovato might get to Mike before.
And I'm pretty sure he'd pick
I don't
her
know.
over me because, you know, the whole international
Hey,
pop
listen.
star thing. You know, it's fine.
Whatever.
She was out after the final rose searching for him.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
I loved Demi and Demi meeting. Just them
Yeah,
sitting there
that
next
was
to each
cute.
other.
Demi
Yeah,
Lovato,
very
Demi
cute.
not Lovato.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
that's
you know,
it.
the budding friendship between Hannah and Demi is also very, very cute. Well, look, we have a lot to cover in terms of last night's Bachelorette finale. So before we take a break, why don't we talk about that devastating moment when Tyler realized he was not getting the final rose?
Tyler,
This isn't it.
when I told you I was falling in love with you, I mean it. I love someone else.
Oh, I just
That
think she should have
hurts.
stopped him so much sooner in the speech. What
Yeah.
did you guys think?
I was yelling at the couch, like, don't let him propose, don't let him. So at least we didn't get like down on one knee
That would've
because
been
we've
awful.
been there before. Like, wait.
Yeah.
I feel like my heart was breaking. I feel like someone was
Yeah.
breaking up with me
Yeah.
when they were saying that because that's what it is. Sometimes I feel like they just let it go on a little bit too long where I'm like, don't freaking
Yeah.
ripping
Yeah.
his heart out.
I mean,
but
it's
also
like, you know
the
what you're
look on
doing,
her
yeah.
face, like if I were him and I saw her just being like, I would probably stop and be like,
It's like,
What's
you got,
up?
it's like you got something to say? You got a little something on your mind? Yeah.
yeah.
I wonder if there's just so much adrenaline going on at that point that he's not even sure. Because you don't know.
Yeah.
You have to
Right.
go in with such confidence, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you do know there's someone else that's also doing the same thing and just as confident.
Right. Well, and also the whole season, she has to hide her feelings the entire time. So he's probably
she has
gotten
a really
used
good poker
to,
face.
Yeah, so he's gotten used to like, okay, well, I'm just gonna pour out my heart again, I guess, and then let's see what comes back
I gotta
to me
say,
this
props
time.
to that speech because Tyler, like that was very well rehearsed, but also still came across as sincere. It was just he did a good job. And
He's like, he's really good at the speeches that sound like they're out of like an 80s rom-com. In the best way.
And I fall for it every time.
We were all talking about, we were like, was there a prompt or something? He was word perfect. But anyway, Tyler's tale may still have legs yet. We're going to talk more on that a little bit later. But right now, we are going to take our first break of the day. When we get back, though, we will be chatting more about the crazy turn of events last night that saw Hannah a single lady once more. For now, stay tuned.
Clarity means
Truth.
truth. You got to see all of me. I didn't get to see all of you.
Welcome back to the show. I'm still hanging out with two lovely pop culture experts, Neha Joy and Brett Vergara, who are getting on like a house on fire, I'm happy to say. And now we're going to continue to unpack the Bachelorette finale last night, where Alabama Hannah thought that she had finally found her happily ever after, but alas, sometimes that is not how life works out. Now, I don't think it came to a surprise to many people that Hannah chose Jed, but it definitely came as a surprise to Hannah to learn that perhaps Jed was not Mr. Right after all, and maybe more of a dirty dog. Watch.
I just feel like this experience has been taken away from me because I didn't know all the details. This doesn't mean the same thing. That's not what I said yes to.
I mean, to be fair, it probably still means about $75,000, but that's what she was on the show for. Does this whole thing feel worse to you guys because he was so fully aware of how heartbroken she was by Colton? So to come on and do this thing where he knows that he's going to end up hurting her, does that make it worse?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so awful, but I think he was just like, oh, I'm gonna get knocked off in the middle of the season. I'm gonna get a boost to my dog jingle music career thing going on.
Music. When is someone gonna let that poor man know that he cannot sing?
He cannot sing.
Sorry.
And everything sounds like the Nationwide jingle.
Oh my
everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, where is the originality, dude?
But no shade to the Nationwide jingle.
But,
Great song.
No
Great
shade to the Nationwide jingle as
Oh
well.
my gosh.
But also, like, Hannah brought up a really good point last night, and she said, like, do you not remember on the very first night Scott got kicked out of the house because he had a girlfriend? Did you not think at the time that perhaps the same thing might happen to you? Like, what do you think
Do we
about
feel
that?
like Demi might be kicking herself a little bit, where it's like, dang it, I got one, but not,
Yeah,
the main,
not all
the
of
main
them.
one.
Not all of
I
them.
think, like, I mean, him trying to explain or weasel his way out of explaining his girlfriend situation back home just explains who he is as a human being. He does not think. I mean, my two favorite quotes from his explanation was, I broke up with her in my mind, and
Legit.
I said I love her, but I was drinking. Like,
Just like,
what?
I know.
Goes through your brain.
I mean, that would have been quite the turn if it was like, oh, like, that seems fair. Like, never mind, like, this engagement's back on. That
He
all
was
holds
pretty
up in my
relieved when
mind.
Scott went because he's like, all right, they got the one, they won't be looking for it again. It's like strapping heroin to your body when you know you've got a bomb in your suitcase, basically. So
He
anyway,
was like, I got away with it.
I got away with it.
Also, I may have just been envisioning things, but when he proposed with that guitar, like, come on.
That when he
Like,
got
just
out of the car with the guitar, I
was like,
literally picked up the bottle of wine.
I screamed,
I didn't even use the glass.
Oh my God.
But when they had done the proposal and they were looking at the camera, I felt like I saw fear in his eyes, like, oh no, okay, this is
all
gonna be
gonna come
interesting.
out
It's like,
now.
this is gonna be weird. Okay, all right, we're doing this.
Imagine being engaged for 24 hours and then People
let's-
Magazine burst
yeah,
your bubble.
let's-
Well, Jed may have had his swan song, but Tyler C was the one being given a second chance last night. Watch this.
You're an incredible guy, and I'm a single girl. So I don't know. I just thought maybe we could go for a drink and just hang out.
I would love to. Just tell me when. I'm there.
Sorry.
Well, one fan's tweet, her name is Emma, she tweeted this last night, and I think it captured how everyone felt. It's a very gleeful John Paul Jones. I think that this is probably what you should have done to begin with. But anyway,
Fair.
what are your predictions here? Do you think they could have a future together? Can they move past everything? Or
Yeah.
do you think
We
that
have our
Tyler's...
thoughts.
I mean, I need to hear y'all's thoughts too, but like my thing, so if they're both into it, amazing. I really want them to fall in love and just like, whatever, Jed, get out of here. But I will say, like, that's gotta be really weird for Tyler being like, all right, I guess like now that you're done with Jed, I'm up at bat.
I feel like he had
Ari
no
and Lauren.
choice.
Yeah,
She accepted him after the whole Becca thing.
Yeah, but this, I'm like, I feel like you read it in his eyes. Like, Tyler, I love you, but there was something in his eyes that was like, if I say no, I'm gonna be roasted. Like, I have no choice but to say yes.
Yeah.
But also, he kept saying, I wish you nothing but the best.
Yeah.
He
was
said
like
it
trying
again
to send,
on his Instagram post. He was like, I wish you nothing but the best. But like, let's go get that drink. I'm like, I don't, I want to believe it because obviously I think that they'd make the perfect match.
Right.
But something in me just tells me, like, Gigi Hadid's waiting for him.
Yeah, no, right.
You know?
Like he's like, I feel like he's like mentally moved on, and now he's like, oh.
options.
Also, where I think it's different than also, I need to bring up Ari and Becca because I feel like that's the same exact apartment where Becca and Ari broke up.
I definitely don't think that was her apartment.
They changed the decor, like they're trying to trick us.
No 24-year-old has an apartment that big in LA.
But like, I'm like, wait a minute, the angles look a little similar. I feel like that hallway
It was
looks.
the same like getaway retreat, the
right.
side
Like, I
by
see what
side
you're
of both
doing.
of them with their hands on their forehead. I'm like, this is a direct comparison.
Yeah,
to
that
how
house
their
is
breakup
basically
was.
haunted now. Like they
Yeah.
just need to lower their
ghosts
Airbnb
of
rate.
relationships
No, but like
past.
where it's different though is that Ari just was with Becca, and then he's like, "Oh, my feelings are actually stronger for Lauren than Miss Lauren." That's not the case here.
No.
You know, like I feel very confidently if none of this came out, Hannah and Jed would still
be together.
or
Yeah.
it would have been something else that was the downfall. It wouldn't have been, "Oh, I actually think I messed up and I should have gone to Tyler."
right.
So I think that changes it.
Well, it was definitely an eventful season of The Bachelorette, to say the least. I'm so glad that Neha and Brett, that you could be here today to break it all down with me. Thank you so much for being amazing guests. Neha, great to see you as per usual. And Brett,
Nice
I
to
hope that
meet
you'll
you
come
for the
back.
first time. Yeah, I would love to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Come back anytime. We do have to go to break, but when we do return, we are playing a round of Cast on Blast with the one and only Hannah B. You don't want to miss it, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Reality Check. We were lucky enough to sit down with Hannah B herself and play a round of Cast on Blast with the former Bachelorette to find out what she would miss the most and the least about some of her suitors. And I think some of her answers might surprise you, so check it out.
What I'll miss most about Mike is his smile. What I'll miss least about Mike is him being so romantic with me, because I don't know, with him, I just want him to be my best friend. And so I'm looking forward to being besties with Mike. What I'll miss most about Tyler.
Bring the beast right now, all right?
Bantering back and forth with Tyler. It's really easy to just, I can pick on him and he can pick on me. What I'll miss least about Tyler is picking his boogies. But that shows that I really cared, because I didn't want him to have boogies on camera. So I just went in there and got him for him.
I just want to make sure you're okay. We're all here for you.
What I'll miss most about Chris is just having him be my dating counselor and Papa Bear when he needs to come in and take care of these boys. What I will least miss about Chris is him picking on me all the time about stupid stuff. He's such a little nitpicker, but I can give it right back to him, so it doesn't matter. What I'll miss most about Peter is just his genuine love for me, and just the time we spent together being just really genuine and real. What I will miss least about Peter is his pilot puns. He's so sweet, though.
Yes, queen.
What I'll miss most about John Paul Jones is talking about the pasta to sauce ratio. We had a really intense conversation about that one time. It was really interesting. And what I will miss least about John Paul Jones is having really long conversations about the pasta to sauce ratio.
Don't tell me what to do, Hannah.
I think a lot of those guys will be in my life, hopefully, in different ways, but I'm really glad that I had the opportunity to meet them all.
I mean, my main takeaway from that is, ouch, poor Mike got friend zoned, but also I've never heard anyone refer to boogies as boogies. To me, they're boogers, so I guess the reason that she didn't pick Tyler is, blame it on the boogie. Anyway, whatever Hannah does from here on out, obviously we wish her the best of luck and we are rooting for her happily ever after with whomever it may be. Right now, it is time for one last break, but when we come back, you better believe we'll be hitting you with another great moment in reality history, so make sure you don't go anywhere. Welcome back. It has been such a fun show today, talking all things Bachelorette. I have to say it is going to be a little bit strange not talking about Hannah and her journey every week as we have been doing, but thank goodness Bachelor in Paradise begins on Monday, and we see that Mike was in that trailer last night, so we get to see more of him. John Paul Jones, who seems to have a little bit of a fisticuffs moment with our friend Derek Paith. So safe to say that we're going to get to see some of our favorite hotties and get introduced to some new ones, and of course, there'll be drama. Right now, to lift our spirits, because we are sad that The Bachelorette is over, here is another fabulous moment in reality TV history, and you might say that this one made an impression. Enjoy.
I was upstairs asking, what happened to Andre?
What happened to Andre? Make it work. Make it work.
In this 2006 episode of Project Runway, Santino Rice delivers a spot-on impression of mentor Tim Gunn,
Designers, look out for Andre. He's our little lamb.
while conjuring up an imaginary date gone bad with contestant Andre Gonzalo.
I say, Andre, you really embarrassed me tonight at Red Lobster. Throwing a plate of lobster in my lap at dinner is not appropriate, but I still think we can make it work.
Santino eventually finished third that season, but his winning imitation remains one of the greatest moments in reality history.
I'm sorry, Tim. You know it's with love.
I do know. And I love you back.
You got to admit, that was a very, very good impression of Tim Gunn. Unfortunately, that is all we have time for today. I want to say a big thank you again to Neha Joy and to Brett Vergara for being here with me today to talk all things Bachelorette. Make sure you check out all of the stories about Hannah B on people.com, because we even have exclusive interview footage. And if you really just can't get enough of this amazing girl and her journey, make sure you grab a copy of People magazine. It's on newsstands Friday, and there she is on the cover. I won't marry a liar. Those are the words to live by for sure. Tomorrow, Whitney, Ward, Dylan and Ariel Lane will be on the show. They're the stars of the new CMT reality show Racing Wives, and they'll be discussing their premiere season. Of course, remember to follow us on @People on Twitter to watch the newest Reality Check episode, streaming every day at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. You can also catch us on YouTube and, of course, the People TV app. I am Lyndsey Rodrigues. What a great show we had today, guys. I will check you tomorrow. Bye.